Hello, everyone. Welcome along to another rendition of Carrmageddon. It's me, your host for tonight, Conor. I was trying to get some other members of the pod along for a little chin wag this evening, but unfortunately, they're all busy. So, and unfortunately for you, you guys are just stuck with me for the rest of the night. So, bear with me. As you guys can tell by the title, I will be dishing out some harsh, but I think fair criticism to our manager this evening and the entire team in general, and just the entire situation that we find ourselves in right now as Celtic supporters. But before we get stuck into me ripping Brendan Rodgers a new one, don't forget, guys, you can like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below so you know that whenever we go live or we upload new pre-recorded episodes like this one tonight. So if you're trying to wonder why you can't live comment, that is why this has been pre-recorded. So you can leave comments down in the comment box below. I'm sure they will be full of opinions, especially after the weekend's results and our upcoming games. Also forget you can become a Boys on the Bus member for $1.99 a month. Just helps us keep fueling the tank and keep the bus going. So if you guys want to do that, that'd be fantastic, and I really do appreciate it. I do appreciate any and all comments, any and all any support you guys give to the channel is incredible. Thank you so much for the love and support you guys are giving. We're well on our way to hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark, and yeah, hopefully we'll be there before Christmas. So if you guys want to subscribe, let other people know about the show. They can subscribe as well if they're a fan. Do all that good stuff. So, guys, where do I start? My head is just full of thoughts and feelings and opinions on what has been going on recently. I am honestly surprised and also not surprised at what unfolded at the weekend. Obviously, Celtic were beaten 2-0 by Dundee away at Dens Park. Celtic were flat. They were atrocious. They were shambolic. We, couldn't have scored if we played that game until right now. Like, we could still be playing right now and we more than likely wouldn't have scored because we are just so poor up front. We are poor defensively. We are poor in the midfield areas. We look poor in the wings, especially on the right wing, with the lack of any right wingers really who deserve to be starting at the club. We have discussions on the manager tonight. I don't even know where to start. To be totally honest, guys, it's just so mental that we are here in this situation now, where we are now further behind in the title race against Hearts, which is just a baffling sentence to say. To be totally honest, and yeah, it's not great, is it? It's really poor. It's really fucking shite. Do you know what I mean? And like, I know I'm smiling and having a laugh, but that's because like I've kind of calmed down, a smidge, but from the weekend. But I am still really, really upset and angry at what we were dished up at the weekend. It's one of the worst Celtic performances I've seen in my lifetime. And now I know some people are going to come in and say, "You were there during the 90s and you didn't see how bad things were." Yeah, I know, because I wasn't born, so sorry about that. But in my lifetime, that is one of the worst Celtic performances I have ever seen to this day. I think one area we could start on is the lineup. You're dropping a informed right back and an up and coming right back who has done nothing wrong the entire time. He's been given the jersey, and Kobe Donovan, and you are starting at Nelson there from no merit at all. You're starting a winger on the right wing in Yang, who did not want to be here at the end of the window, the end of the summer transfer window. We have to rely on that guy who doesn't want to be here clearly, who isn't, first of all, good enough to be a starting right wing for Celtic. We have to deal with a striker who is starting for us, who's came in, scored a couple of goals, fair enough, done okay, but had to be released from his club on a free because they couldn't even be bothered negotiating a fee for him. They just wanted rid of him because when he was at Sevilla, he was so poor. We have to deal with midfielders who are just not at it at all, and we were at Carrmageddon and Benjamin Rodgers, guys who this season look like shadows in them former selves in Conor McGregor and Rio Tati, and Benjamin Reegan, who in pre-season looked alright, came and got a couple of goals, but right now does nothing in the team. Like I can't even remember him like touching the ball. We had that one chance which he fucking fell in his arse. He should have just put his laces through it with the potential to score the goal. But no, he tries to take one too many touches in the box and just falls in his fucking arse, and then Dundee get the ball again. We are so lacking in anything positive now in terms of our play, and it's frankly baffling. And it comes down to one man for me, to be honest, the now, who has to carry the can for it, and that's Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers, for me, is a couple of games away from losing his job, if I'm frankly honest. I cannot understand where he's coming from with his decisions, with his options for his starting lineups, for his bizarre substitutions. Our only player who looked like creating anything was Sebastian Tedeschi. And he takes him off, puts on Balak Wisha, who has failed to impress massively after having been to have convinced to come to the club, to come to Celtic, of all clubs, from fucking Royal Antwerp, absolutely nothing club who, aren't even half the size of the club that Celtic are. Who's came in, he goes in the left wing, does nothing, unsurprisingly. We then put Ian Acho as a striker who's scored goals recently, out on the right, for whatever reason. I didn't put on Johnny Kenny, a fucking player who, after having a couple of games in pre-season, has been left out the squad entirely. Who hasn't scored a goal this season, who hasn't made any contributions at all, and all of a sudden he's your Hail Mary play to try and get us a goal, not even get us a win, because we were 2 goals behind at half time with Dundee. 2 goals behind to Dundee. That's an embarrassing point to be in. It's the same Dundee who got hammered 4-0 off an Aberdeen side who couldn't kick their own arse this season. What happens? Celtic come up to play them, they make it look easy. Dundee are pipped to go down this season. Or at least they're one of the teams that are in the mix. And we're getting our arses blasted off relegation fodder. Not good enough for me. It's frankly, it's a disgusting situation to be in as a Celtic fan. From where we were a few seasons ago under Ange, playing the best football I'd ever seen at Celtic. Having players who we all loved, who knew where the back of the fucking goal was, who could light up the stadium, light up the fans, to just having 11 guys on the park who can produce nothing. They can produce nothing. And what's the manager's reaction to that? Does he make some drastic changes and pull off 3 of them at half time to put a statement down saying, no, this ain't fucking good enough? No, he takes off one player. He takes off Ralston, I'm sure it was, and puts on, fuck, I don't remember who the hell he put on, to be honest, because I've kind of just, it's all kind of went into my head what the hell was going on, but I'm just so baffled at the state we're in now. And we need to have some serious conversations about Brendan Rodgers, about his abilities as a manager. I don't think, see this elite status, right, that people want to put on Brendan Rodgers. It's not warranted for me. Fair enough, for an FA Cup with Leicester. Fair enough, gave me, and I'm sure all you, some unforgettable memories, right? The Invincible season, the treble, all the rest of it. But that was against teams who I don't think would compete in this league at all. If you go back and look at it, Rangers just came up for the Championship. They were in a dire state. I know they're in a shit state now, right? But they've been in the Premiership. They've been competing in Europe. So they're a better side than what they were back then. As bad as they are now. And I don't think it's unfair to say that. As bad as they are now, they are arguably a better side than what they were back when Brendan Rodgers was playing them. It seems to me that Brendan Rodgers can only really compete when the rest of the league are absolutely abysmal and Rangers are fucking shite as well. As soon as there's any pushback, it looks like he can't deal with it. Look at his first season back. The league almost went down to the wire. Look at last season. First 6 months, great. It was brilliant. Brilliant football. Players were in form. From Christmas onwards, we were dire. We weren't great. We still got that, won the league. We still managed to get it over the line. But he fumbled a fucking treble against a shocking Aberdeen side. He fumbled Champions League in a penalty shootout against Kairat Almaty, a team from fucking Kazakhstan who'd never been in the Champions League before. Teams like that should not be competing with Celtic. It doesn't matter who we've got on the pitch, right? Whether, and I know the board is like 90% to blame for this, by the way. 100%. I am not laying all the blame at Brendan Rodgers' feet. You guys know how I feel about the board. I fucking hate the board. I think what they've done to this club is a fucking travesty, and they are holding us down, holding us back, dragging us down just to spite us all. Because they care more about what goes into their bank account, their bonuses, all that stuff, than they do care about being proper custodians of the club and seeing us progress. But we could be playing with a fucking B team who can't win a game, by the way. Fucking great work Sean Maloney's doing as the fucking youth progression coach to see if any of them are decent enough to come up and play the first team. What the fuck is going on there? The B team who can't win a game should be able to go and beat Kairat Almaty. I'm not telling tales at school here. That's the way it should be. We are the most successful football club in the world. One of the biggest football clubs in the world. And we should not be struggling the way we are to break down these. People are saying, oh, it's hard to play against a team that just sits 10 men behind the ball and, just try and camp and make it difficult. We get that every season. Every single season, 85% of the teams in the league will do that. You'll maybe get the occasional team here or there, like Hearts, Hibs, and Rangers, and maybe Aberdeen, all come out and try and have a go. And the rest of them just sit in the camp in and try and soak up the pressure and try and get a 0-0 draw or sneak a 1-0 or whatever. It's the same every season. We've seen it under Ange, seen it under Lennon, seen it under Rodgers. It's the exact same every year. The other clubs' tactics don't really change that much. Depending on, I know the managers change, blah, blah, blah. Personnel changes for players. They try and play the same way because they know if they're trying to go toe-to-toe with Celtic in any normal season, they're not going to have a chance in hell. So that's why they sit in the camp in the lane deep part of the bus. This isn't new grounds to be trying to break. Brendan Rodgers isn't coming up against these new styles for these, new managers who are coming in and trying to, shake the system up in Scottish football and that. We're playing against the fucking same jobbers that like to park, themselves behind and just sit and defend and dig deep for their life and try and camp out that fucking box. Stop us for scoring. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. People are saying Brendan Rodgers has got 5 games to save his career at Celtic. He's got 3. He's got, well, you could argue 4 because of the order it will go in. But you've got the game on Thursday against Sturm Graz, who are a shit side, by the way. I watched them play Rangers. Not impressive at all. Rangers looked alright against them. And that takes a hell of a lot of doing for Rangers to look alright against somebody now. considering where the fuck they are. You've got the game against Hearts next week, and on Sunday, this Sunday, at Tynecastle. Must win again. You've got the cup semi-final against Rangers. If he fails to win all three of those games, I'm saying all three. Like, I want him gone now. I want him gone now. But this is where the board come back into it. By the way, who the fuck do we replace him with? If we let him go, do we bring Ange back in? Would Ange even want to come back? He knows how the board works. He knows exactly what they're like. They're arguably worse than ever. He probably wouldn't want to come back. He's already had a tussle with a fucking egomaniac owner of a club. He's not going to come want to swan him back here if Brendan Rodgers gets his jotters and deal with Michael Nicholson and Peter Lawwell and that again. I fucking wouldn't. But I'm going to just take the money I've got to being sacked. I'm going to just chill out for a bit. And I'll get a job somewhere else, maybe 6 months down the line. Easy street. I'd do that. I'd love him to come back. Fuck me, of course I would. But he wouldn't want to come back to this with the state we're in. I mean, it's embarrassing that we've sold so many players and haven't replaced them. We never even replaced Kyogo when we sold him. Never replaced Kyogo. Haven't gotten players to replace Nicholas Kuhn. We haven't got a decent fucking right winger in the team. Where the fuck do we go for here? It is going to be an absolute slog to get to January. And I know people are maybe holding out that tiny wee minuscule ball-hairy hope that when we get to January and all the protests and all the posts and all the outcry, the Celtic they'll finally wake up and they'll invest heavy in January. I've no got crystal balls, I've no got hairy ones, but I can predict the future right now. It ain't going to happen. They're hardly going to spend a fucking penny in January. All that will happen is they've got a couple of loans in, they'll maybe sign one or two players on the cheap, and they'll release 2 new merch drops. And that'll be it. That'll be it. That's your whack. Deal with it. We are so far off where we should be. This club should be improving year upon year upon year upon year. And we're going backwards. We're going massively backwards. And I don't know where we go from here. I genuinely don't know. Like, we're not going to win on Thursday night, I can guarantee you that. We're not going to win on Sunday. Hearts are going to pump us at Tynecastle on Sunday, by the way. I already told you what would happen when the game at Sunday there the week before on the show. I told you, I said, I'm not looking forward to this. I've got a bad feeling about this. I don't know what kind of Celtic's going to come out to play. But I've got a funny feeling it's not going to be a good version of Celtic. Was I right? Of course I was fucking right. Of course I was right. The fact that we used to come on here week in, week out and predict a Celtic win, 3 goals, 4 goals, maybe score 5, be on easy street. A couple of seasons ago, maybe the first half of last season as well, to be at the point where we don't think we can beat Hearts under Derek McInnes. A manager who we have pasted time and time and time again. Hearts, a club we have pasted time and time and time again. We've got a decent record at Tynecastle. We've got a decent record against Hearts. We had a fucking fantastic record against Dundee the weekend. They hadn't beat us in about, what, 30 odd year? Something like that at Dens Park. Just crazy that we're in this situation now. And Brendan Rodgers coming out with daft fucking comments like, "Oh, you're expecting me to drive like I'm in a Ferrari when I'm being given a Honda Civic." Sorry, but you're playing against Dundee. You are the Ferrari. They're the Honda Civic. It shouldn't even be a competition. We should be 10 laps in front by half time, if you want to use the racing analogy. None of that Dundee squad get in the Celtic team. Well, maybe they do now because we're that fucking shite. But in any normal season, hardly any players in the Scottish League get in, Celtic's team. But then now, we're just so poor. We're so poor. And guys, I apologise now for just how all over the place and how kind of collected and that my thoughts are. I was going to take notes in that tonight, but I thought, do you know what? I'm going to just come on and just go raw, speak for the heart, and just go for it that way, because I think that's what we kind of need. Like, we don't need me sitting here with a sheet of paper and just rhyming off, the intricacies of the game and what the hell's happened in that, because Terry and Phil did an excellent job of that on the Sunday after it. I am sick of that Gucci belt wearing, crusty lipped, fucking bullshit merchant, snake oil salesman we've got as a manager. I'm sick of him. It just comes away with shite all the time. And fair enough, we'll swallow up when things are going well. But then when the chips are down and, when it's, hard luck on the road, that's when you see him for what it truly is. Incompetent as a manager for me. The inability to make the hard decisions, to drop players when it's warranted. The starting midfield for Celtic on Sunday there didn't deserve to be starting. And that includes Callum McGregor, who, can you name me one thing he did in that game to try and G up the team, try and lead the team forward as a captain, to try and get a positive result and get over the line? I fucking can't. Just stands there pointing. You go forward, you do this, you do that. How about you fucking do it, Callum McGregor? How about you take the fucking ball and try and drive forward a bit and try and just do something? That fuck all. His leadership capabilities for me as a captain, I've questioned him before. They're in the muck for me. He is not a shadow of the captain that Scott Brown is. And Scott Brown's like my favourite Celtic captain of all time, because he's the captain I grew up with throughout the majority of my life. Scott Brown knew that when the fucking going gets tough, you have to dig in. You've got to be fucking tough, physically and mentally. Scott Brown wasn't afraid to put the boot in when it fucking needed, to try and drag the team up by the arse and try and force something. Even if it didn't work out, even if we still got beat, even if we still had a hard luck try to get the result over the line, at least he still tried. You can see he had that mentality for him. Be very early on at Celtic. Callum McGregor ain't got that. He's done for me. He's done. We've got an £11 million player sitting on the bench who can't even get a sniff. Paulo Bernardo, who I think he was actually injured on Sunday, so that's probably why I never showed, but who's hardly had a chance this season, who, when he first came in the door, we were all raving about him, had that fantastic game against Rangers when he first came in. If it wasn't for him in his first season, we wouldn't have won, I think, 3 of the games against Rangers that we did. Scored the first goal in one of them, had a fantastic game in the first one he played. Takes, evades the midfield, has the shot, which then rolls out to Adamida, which he puts in the back of the net to win as the Scottish Cup against them. That's 3 off the top of my head that I can remember. And that was down to him showing me he could do in the middle of the park. Luke McCowan, who knows the Dundee personnel, was there for a good while, would more than likely be able to. He's good when he always tries. Luke McCowan always fucking tries. He always tries something. He always tries to either get a goal or try and set up a goal, try an audacious pass, something like that. And 9 times out of 10, I think it comes over him. They could argue he's better as an impact sub, but I think he deserves a start. I can tell you, I guarantee you, he put in a hell of a lot more fucking effort, even if it never came off, than the 3 midfielders that started on Sunday there. Iheanacho looks fucking rusty as looks rusty as a coffin nail. That if he takes that touch in the box far too wide to try and get us a goal and just makes an absolute arse of it. Granted, takes a shot, comes after the post. No bad shot, no bad effort by all means, but technically wasn't on target because he hit the post. We are like in the doldrums right now. And if you've got any thoughts that over the next wee while it's going to get better, I'm sorry to inform you, that's just false hope. And I'm not trying to bring anybody down. I'm not trying to make you depressed about the club that we all love and the club that we're proud to support. But it's just a matter of fact now, where we are, where we're sitting. We're sitting, what is it, 7 points? 5 points? I can't even remember the fucking points tally. I'd have to look it up. Behind Hearts, who granted had a brilliant start to the season, but they should not be competing with Celtic. And they shouldn't be. Other teams outside the Rangers competed with us for a league title, for cups, for other stuff. Shouldn't even come in to the ethos of Scottish football, because we've been lording over them for so long, and that's what we should be continue to be doing. I've said it before. We should be like the PSG of the Scottish League. No one should be able to touch us. No one. It's like, and the fact that we're sitting here now questioning whether we're going to win the league in October is quite frankly terrifying. And I know it's Halloween soon, but this is the scariest fucking thing going on now for me. The fact we're in this position now. We're out of Europe as of Thursday. I can guarantee it. The European campaign will be done on Thursday. We'll lose to Sturm Graz. We'll more than likely lose to Hearts on Sunday. When it comes to the Cup semi, Danny Rowe's in the door now. So he's got time between now and then to work on Rangers, get his philosophy over, try and get something different going. And they'll probably beat us in that as well. What I know, and look, I hope to God, right? I have got the biggest fucking egg on my face, so much you can make an omelette by the time these games roll around, and we do win, and we see Celtic actually just click into gear. But I've got no faith. I've got no faith in the players. I've got no faith in the manager. I've never had faith in the fucking board, because they're just a bunch of dinosaur bastards who care about themselves more than they care about the club they're meant to be driving forward. But that's nothing new. We've seen it for years. But what's happening with the team now is baffling. It's terrifying. And I don't know where we go from here. Can you guys, look at it right now and honestly think we can get a result on Thursday night against Sturm Graz? Can you guys honestly look at Hearts on Sunday and think we can get a result there? I don't. I really don't. I don't see a reality in which it happens. I don't see that over the next couple of days it's going to just suddenly click and they're firing all cylinders and the team's G'd up and they're ready to go and they're going to make a statement or a comeback almost, put some positive feeling back into the supporters around the club. I don't see it. I don't see where it's going to come from. Brendan Rodgers has failed to win must-win games. His last must-win game was in January. Last January against Bodo Glimt. And the only reason that came about was because of a deflected effort I've had immediately. I went in for not Bodo Glimt, Young Boys. Against a Young Boys player, went in the back of the right net, when there's an OG. That was it. Granted, we went and competed with Bayern Munich, fair enough. Still fucking lost. Still lost. Lost the cup final to Aberdeen. A honking Aberdeen side. That still gets in my craw. That'll probably get in my craw to the day I die about how bad the Aberdeen side were. To lose to that shower of absolute shite. Lose a cup final to them. Lose to Kairat Almaty. Fuck me. He failed to beat Barry Ferguson twice. Barry Ferguson, a failed Alloa manager, when he took the helm of Rangers, who, by the way, I don't think he won his first, 3 or 4 games at Ibrox, that same Barry Ferguson, who the gap got increasingly bigger as the end of the season went on, because Rangers just kept dropping points, failed to beat him, failed to beat arguably the worst Rangers manager Celtic fans, Rangers fans, Scottish football fans I've ever seen in Russell Martin. People were scoring against Russell Martin for fun. Dundee scored goals against them. Everybody scored goals against them. Could Celtic fucking put a ball in the back of the net? Could they bugger it? No. He took a fucking 0-0. And we were lucky to get away with that. They could have beat us. We could have potentially been sitting off the back of a Russell Martin defeat with Brendan Rodgers at the helm. What does that tell you about the guy who's meant to be leading the team? The tactics are fucking stale as we call bread. The players don't look motivated. They don't look like they can kick their own arse. I am bored to tears every time I watch Celtic this season. The only time we've looked half decent was when we played Livingston and when we played Partick Thistle in the Cup. And that's a championship side. We put 4 past them. But that's a championship side, Celtic. That's, a given. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any of the opposition that we're playing, right? I probably am coming across that way. I couldn't really care, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But you don't deserve any trepidation. These teams don't deserve any trepidation for Celtic going into these games against them. We shouldn't be fearing Hearts, no matter how good they're playing. Aberdeen last season were on a brilliant run of form. We played them in the Cup, put fucking 4 past them. And then they crumbled. We should be on a similar trajectory to that. But we're not. We've scraped fucking past games this season. Last minute winner against fucking Kelly. Last minute winner against fucking St Mirren. I'm sorry, no last minute. Last half. We haven't scored a goal in the first 20 minutes. All season. When's the last time you heard that? Normally with Celtic, if Celtic don't score within the first 20 minutes, for any game, you're kind of raging. Because you expect us to come out the traps flying, hitting teams fucking hard. Now it's expected for us to not score in the first half, really. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. And I don't know where the remedy is going to come from. I don't think there is one. Because we're stuck doing a rock and a hard place. Say we do get rid of Brendan Rodgers. Who the fuck they're board getting to replace him? Sean Maloney, Scott Brown, Neil Lennon back, because he's been sucking off the board like nobody's business. He's trying to line himself up for a job again, more than likely. That's probably what it will be. All Lenny will be back. Fuck me. I think the football's bad now. Jesus. I am so disheartened and disgusted and just ultimately just fed up with what's going on at Celtic now. And I'm just using this episode now as like a bit of therapy to just vent all my emotions now. And it's probably, and I do apologise, it's probably making for a really, really bad episode. But I'm needing to get my thoughts out. However, come together they are, how unfiltered and unprocessed they are, and raw they are. But that's what's happening to me now. That's what the club's doing to me now. I thought that as bad as the things that's going on with the board this season, we could all come together and back the manager and back the team to try and drive us forward. But we can't now. If you're trying to sit here and say to me, oh, you're not a true Celtic fan because you're not backing the team, how the fuck can I back that? How can I back that team of cowards? How can I back that fraudulent fucking manager? How can I do it? Tell me how. Without having just blind faith and daft fucking optimism that somehow things will all work out. when the writing's on the wall that it's not gonna? You tell me. But I I don't know. I really don't know where we go from here. Um, you want some predictions for the games? I've already told you we'll lose. We'll probably get beat 3-1. We'll Sturm Graz. We'll probably get beat 4-0 off Hearts. We'll probably get beat in the Cup semi 2-0 off the Rangers. So there's your predictions. If you want to put them on the coupon, you'll probably get some decent odds for it. Or you might know, because Celtic are fucking horrid now, so the odds might not even be that good. We are almost in like crisis mode now. Like, I generally don't see us winning our next 5 games. I could only see us winning maybe one at a push. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I, I don't know. I really don't know what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go. Who do we get in if Rodgers goes? I don't fucking know. Take Ange back, people who want to come back. The board will try and get whatever, wee puppet they've got on their strings, who's going to just come in and be a yes man and be a fucking mouthpiece for them. Because that's all they want. What players do we get in January? Christ. If we're still in the position we're in now, right, where we are struggling to catch up with Hearts, say we're out the cup, who's going to want to come to us in January? Seriously. Any players of decent calibre is not going to want to come to Celtic if you're still like this in January. They're not going to want to come. I don't know how to continue with this. I'm going to just have to call it, because like my brain is just absolutely frazzled now with just how poor we are and just how shockingly bad we are. This is how bad we are, right? I'll end it on this. The COVID team, which is one of the worst Celtic teams we've probably ever seen, would take about 3 or 4 after this current Celtic team. They had 100% fancied their chances against the Celtic team. Whew. That's bad. That's really bad. A team that finished, 20 odd points behind Rangers in the league, who were getting beaten at cups by Ross County and stuff like that. They fancied their chances against the Celtic team all day long. That's how bad we are. No creativity, no spark, shite defence, zero midfield, geriatric fucking goalkeeper. It's just shite, innit? It's just really shite. And I'm sorry how depressing this episode's been tonight, guys. I really do apologise. It's probably been so bad to listen to. It's probably been so bad. And it's been so, just, I don't know. I don't even know the word. I can't even think anymore. It's been, just so, all over the place tonight. I apologise for how bad this episode's probably been. So, but if you somehow managed to enjoy it tonight, guys, don't forget, you guys can you can share the podcast far and wide with all your Celtic friends and family. Comment down below if you want to comment, leave comments, leave some feedback. If you want to hit the notification bell as well, which is down there on the browser, in the bit below there, that'll let you notified whenever we do go live and new episodes do drop. If you want to become a Boys in the Bus member for $1.99 a month, you can do so. We really do appreciate it. So that's all it's going to be for me tonight, guys. And honestly, for the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry how bad this has been tonight. I really apologise for just how unorganised and just off the cuff and just I've probably just said nothing of substance tonight. I've said absolutely zero stuff of substance tonight. I do apologise, but I just needed to get my kind of raw, unfiltered thoughts out there, because I need somebody to talk to about it. And you guys are like my counsellors. Just sit and listen to me ramble away, week in, week out, wherever I do come on. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining me this evening. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And the boys will more than likely be on Thursday night after the game against Sturm Graz, more than likely dissecting a Celtic defeat again. Or maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe we'll actually win. But I wouldn't I wouldn't count on it. But I've rambled on for too long, guys. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I will see you all later and have a good one.